The specialty stitches of the Pfaff Creative Icon is a menu I love to play in. You've seen me talk about the Pfaff Stitching Cosmos online course, and I made sure to add a lot of these stitches to those fun blocks. So we're going to go all the way over to menu 8 called Techniques. Techniques start off with ribbon stitches, there's stacking stitches, and there's even radiant stitches, which I think they made for me because they are perfect to sew on both a straight line and curves. So there's more than one way to get to these stitches. And I just want to remind you, you can come up to the stitch menu. So that is the small little icon in the top right corner, the one that looks like the little hash marks, like lines in a book. And then as you come in here, finding the stitches across the top via the menus. So we're back to menu 8. But this is what you also get to see. You kind of get to pull up each menu and then see what each of the other ones are labeled. As you select a stitch, this is another benefit for selecting stitches from this area, is you're going to get the information that you need about that stitch right here on the screen. As you select or touch different stitches to figure out which one you're going to use, you're touching them but not necessarily selecting them. So you can kind of hop around and peek at some of the different fun options for these things, like what are stacking stitches, what are ribbon stitches, and so forth. So this would be a fun place to kind of start to work with as you begin to stitch these out. Remember, stitching out your stitch book would be a fabulous idea. So let's just quickly highlight each of these groups, and then we will do individual videos on how to do the single ribbon stitches and the floating stitches and fun ones. Okay, so for quite a few years now, ribbon stitches have been a Pfaff exclusive. So this little zigzaggy part that you see underneath a decorative stitch is actually where the ribbon is placed. Super cute idea, fun to work with not just ribbons, but other cords and the like. Not only singles, but doubles. So the machine will actually pause as it stitches one little section, and then you take the ribbon and then flip it to a new direction. It stitches a little bit more and the ribbon comes back. Then they've added not only double, but triple ribbon stitches as well. Very fun to braid them together. So as I select stitch number 1, it does give me some recommendations of which size of ribbon would be ideal for each of these stitches. A couple of them are designed for some thinner ones, and some can be used for some thicker ribbons. Okay, stacking stitches, brilliant idea. So you see that they're kind of grouped as pairs. You stitch the first part of the pair, and maybe with one decorative stitch, and then you start the second part of the pair at the same starting place, and they meld together. It's super fun to have some unique combinations as you work through all these different ones. Not saying you can't do stacking stitches with other stitches you have in your machine. I bet that after you stitch out these 30 stitches or 15 different combinations, you will realize that you could do something similar with any and all the stitches you have built in the machine. Trust me, your brain just goes wild after trying out these stitches. Okay, floating stitches. They actually look like the stitches are floating on the fabric. You just have to stitch them out. Trust me, pick the stitch, read the directions. You do need to take some fabric and fold it. You're sewing with the bi-level guide foot, and it is a blast. So we will do those as well. Okay, so radiant stitches, here are the ones I was just talking about with great on curves or straight lines. And then the last one is what are called lace edge stitches. Oh my goodness. So if you've ever done embroidery that looks like lace, so it's done like on a washable stabilizer, the grayish part shown in the picture is your fabric. There is wash away stabilizer underneath the edge of that fabric. And the stitches, one stitch out in the wash away stabilizer, are then washed out and left with lace finishes. It's beautiful little edge. Again, have fun with lots of different thread choices. When you're ready to load your stitch, that's what this load option is. That's when it brings it in and gets you ready to stitch. So I hope you'll join us as we take each of these stitches individually and show you the tips and techniques for creating these unique looks. And if you love these, definitely check out all of our Pfaff Stitching Cosmos online course lessons that will help you expand your knowledge within this machine on where and when to use all these fabulous stitches.